home last month. A short in the homeowner's newly installed fire prevention alarm system. This is even worse than last year, said the distraught homeowner, when someone broke in and stole my new security system. A man in Taormina, Italy, was hospitalized after swallowing 46 teaspoons, 2 cigarette lighters, and a pair of salad tongs. More than 600 people in Italy wanted to ride in a spaceship badly enough to pay $10,000 apiece for the first tourist flight to Mars. According to the Italian police, the would-be space travelers were told to spend their next vacation on Mars amid the splendors of ruined temples and painted deserts, ride a Martian camel from oasis to oasis, and enjoy the incredible Martian sunsets, explore mysterious canals, and marvel at the views. Trips to the moon also available. Authorities believe that the conmen running this scam made off with over $6 million. A man spoke frantically into the phone. My wife is pregnant and her contractions are only 2 minutes apart. Is this her first child? The doctor asked. No, you idiot, the man shouted. This is her husband. In Ohio, an unidentified man in his late 20s walked into a police station with a 9-inch wire protruding from his forehead and calmly asked officers to give him an x-ray to help him find his brain, which he claimed had been stolen. Police were shocked to learn that the man had drilled a 6-inch deep hole in his skull with a Black & Decker power drill and stuck the wire in to try and find the missing brain. George Muscatello, 47, of Woodside, New York, was camping in a remote area of the Northwest Territories when he heard some pitter-patter sounds outside his tent. Thinking it might be wolves, he loaded his gun and activated an emergency locator signal that is supposed to be used only for air and sea emergencies. Authorities launched a search and rescue aircraft whose mission cost $12,000. Muscatello, an inexperienced camper who had already burned part of his tent after a mishap with a propane heater, told rescuers he was investigating the legend of Bigfoot. The FBI announced it is looking for Engas decided